is going on, guys? JD from New York here, and I'm bringing you your WrestleMania 29 preview and predictions. Now, what I'm going to do for this preview and predictions for WrestleMania, I'm going to cut them into two parts. This is going to be part one of two. I'm going to cover the undercard here in this video. If I have enough time, I'll get at least one of the main event matches for WrestleMania on this video. If not, all of those matches will be in part two. But I do want to save part two for the two big matches. John Cena versus The Rock, and then CM Punk versus The Undertaker. Best in the World versus The Shriek. I want to talk about that because those two are the most well thought out, well opinionated pieces I did work on this week. So I want to bring those to you guys in a separate video. But last year, I was very vocal about WrestleMania. I wasn't really thrilled with the final product of WrestleMania. I thought it was a very, very lackluster and lazy show. The show didn't come off well on TV. I thought The Rock versus John Cena was overhyped. It was a decent match, but it really didn't live up to, you know, once-in-a-lifetime expectations like the WWE built it to be. The match was built a year in advance. The Rock was clearly out of shape. He was, you know, sweating profusely and out of breath in like 10 minutes. You know, he showed his ring rust, you know, for being away for so long. John Cena, on the other hand, you knew he was going to lose going into Miami, The Rock's hometown. But other than that, CM Punk versus Chris Jericho and The Undertaker versus Triple H in Hell in a Cell were the only two matches that I thoroughly enjoyed. I was very disappointed with Daniel Bryan not getting a decent match at WrestleMania, especially when he was the World Heavyweight Champion. But I'm not going to complain about that 18-second loss because that whole point during that pay-per-view built his character what he is today. It built the character what it is today. So I'm not going to complain about that. But as a whole, the WrestleMania show last year really didn't come off well on TV. This year, the build has been so lazy and so boring. They got 2 weeks left to go. I'm hearing reports now from all the websites that WWE is going action-packed to the last 2 weeks of WrestleMania. I don't know what's taking them so long. You know, this is what they should have been doing for months now. I really just don't understand it. But they also raised the price for the pay-per-view. It's now $64.99 it was, and now it's $69.99. See, the WWE could get away with this kind of thing because they all know we're all going to buy WrestleMania. We're not going to want to miss Punk versus The Undertaker. We're not going to want to miss The Rock versus John Cena. These are must-see matches. So the WWE could get away with that $5 increase, and that's what I hate. It's all about business, but I understand how a business is run. You know, I really wish they just had the product to back up you know, the reasoning for raising these prices. And the WrestleMania is going to be huge. It's going to do 1 million, you know, over 1 million buys. It's going to do close to 15 million in stadium. You know, then you're going to have the concessions and the merchandise and all this other nonsense. It's going to be fucking massive for WWE. So I understand why they did it. I just wish they had a better product to show us on TV, because right now they're showing us that we don't care. But that's my opinion on the whole thing, guys. Let's get right into the preview and predictions. I'm going to talk about two undercard matches that are probably going to happen but are not yet official. That's The Miz versus Wade Barrett and Chris Jericho versus Fandango. We'll start off with Miz versus Wade Barrett. This match, to me, if it's a singles match, one versus one, I see this match being one of those bathroom break type of matches, especially in the stadium if you're there. You know, a lot of people aren't really invested in The Miz's face's character, or The Miz's new character as a babyface. I know I'm not. I was all about The Miz when he was a heel. He's a decent in-ring worker. He's got great mic skills when he's a heel. Right now, it's just coming off very forced. It's coming off very stale. I don't really invest my viewing time into The Miz anymore like I did when he was a heel. So they really need to step it up with him or just scrap this whole babyface turn completely. Wade Barrett, on the other hand, is the future of the WWE. He is one of the bright spots on the WWE roster. He is the current IC title holder right now. You know, I don't like the way that they're booking Wade Barrett lately either. They have, you know, they're booking him very lazily on TV. But like I said, he is the IC title holder. What they need to do to get people invested and interested in this match is make the Intercontinental title seem important again. The one way that they can do that, and I really wish that they would go this route since they're not having Money in the Bank at WrestleMania anymore, is make this match for the IC strap a ladder match. People would be all eyes on the ring for a ladder match. They love the ladder match. This match would get the people buzzing. It would get the crowd going. It would get the IC title, you know, to look important again. And that's what they need to do. They need to do that here. I really wish they would go that route. But right now, as it stands, it's going to be a one-on-one match, and I see Wade Barrett retaining the IC strap because The Miz right now is just not working as a babyface. Chris Jericho versus Fandango, I have a problem with this match, and it's not I have a logical reasoning why I have a problem with this match. You bring Chris Jericho back, and he's one of the best ever. It seems like the WWE doesn't have any idea what to do with him. They bring him back just for the sake of bringing him back, just for the sake of having that big name on WrestleMania, but they have no creative direction for him at all during WrestleMania season. So now, last minute again, another last minute match, they're booking him against Fandango because they realize that they invested so much time into this Fandango character that they need to put him over a Hall of Famer. Now, I don't know how well this is going to translate at WrestleMania, especially with the Fandango character, because you got to keep in mind, Johnny Curtis knows how to wrestle. It's just Johnny Curtis has never wrestled at WrestleMania. So if you're going to put the Fandango character on that grand stage in front of 90,000 people, that's going to be a very difficult situation for him to get over, especially being the first time. Anybody who works for Chris Jericho, I'm sure it's going to be a great match. It's just I don't think this match should be happening at WrestleMania. Chris Jericho deserves so much better. This match is best served for either Raw or SmackDown. Make it a main event on SmackDown or something like that, not for WrestleMania, because it's a lose-lose situation right now for WWE. You can't have Fandango lose because they invested so much time into this character over these weeks. You can't have him lose, otherwise the character's finished. It's done. You can't have Chris Jericho lose because it makes him look like a total schmuck. How are you going to lose to a guy who never stepped foot in a WWE ring with this character? Especially with this character. He's a fucking dancer. You're going to have Chris Jericho lose to a guy like this? I understand about building new stars, but this is not the way to go. Like I said, Chris Jericho deserves to have a lot more importance at WrestleMania. But if it does happen, I do expect Chris Jericho to put Fandango over. Fandango gets his first victory in the WWE. Team Hell No versus Dolph Ziggler and Big E Langston for the WWE Tag Team straps. I really don't understand why this match is even made, and if I was head of creative, I would have come up with such a better idea, a much better idea for Dolph Ziggler for WrestleMania. He deserves so much better and has proved time and time again that he is the real deal. I don't see what the holdup is. If you guys have been watching my videos, Chris Jericho and Dolph Ziggler in an Iron Man match or some type of submission match would have been the way to go here at WrestleMania, with a feud consisting of both men trying to outclass one another, outduel each other leading up to WrestleMania. Who's the better man? Who's the best? Instead, we're getting a tag team title match that looks like it was thrown together at the last minute between four guys that have absolutely no heat at all. There's no legit feud here. Yes, it's going to be great action. You know, it's going to be nice to see Daniel Bryan and Dolph Ziggler in the ring. Ziggler is going to bump like crazy. Bryan is one of the best in the world, wrestling-wise. They're going to do what they do at WrestleMania, and they're going to do it to perfection. But you can't help but feel underwhelmed with this match. It's a last-minute match, but at least the tag team titles are being defended this year at WrestleMania, because I can't remember the last time that they were. As for who wins, Big E Langston and Dolph Ziggler will not walk out of WrestleMania the tag team champions. Team Hell No will retain here. Dolph Ziggler hopefully is put in a world title program leading up to him cashing in that briefcase. Mark Henry versus Ryback. Now, this match was made simply to give both men something to do at WrestleMania. How we got here was just stupid as fuck on WWE Creative's part, but it's going to happen. It made sense for Mark Henry, who just came off injury, to return to wrestle Ryback, and it made sense for Ryback to wrestle Mark Henry at WrestleMania. Henry's been booked to look very, very strong since returning. He had a great showing at the Elimination Chamber. That leaked onto TV. He's been destroying everybody in sight. Ryback has lost several pay-per-views. Keep in mind, he's lost several pay-per-views in a row to Punk, to The Shield, and he lost winning the Royal Rumble to John Cena, being eliminated last by John Cena. This one is academic. Ryback is going to win with the shell shock here. That's going to be his WrestleMania moment. They're going to give him his WrestleMania victory over Mark Henry, and it's going to be great to see. I'm glad that they booked this match. I just don't like how WWE got there, because instead of just booking the match and giving it a decent build on TV, they put Ryback in a six-man tag with the Shield, with Orton and Sheamus. Then they turned that back and put Big Show in that and gave Mark Henry the match with Ryback. I don't understand why they did it. They just should have did it from the beginning, Henry versus Ryback, and Big Show should have been aligned with Sheamus and Randy Orton from the beginning. But that's the way they did it. I don't know. Jack Swagger versus Alberto Del Rio. Now, this one is one of the main event matches that I'm least interested in, and I'll tell you why. You know, I was never a big fan of Del Rio. I was never a big fan of him as a heel. I preferred him as a heel, but I was never a big fan of him. I'm certainly not a fan of him as a babyface. Now, the WWE is worried because Rey Mysterio is injured. They don't know if he's going to come back at full health. He might have to retire. Sin Cara has been deemed a failure in WWE. You know, his in-ring work is not what it was meant to be. But like I said, I was never a big fan of Del Rio, and I was never a big fan of having him beat the Big Show for the World Heavyweight Championship. I always thought Swagger had the in-ring skills to get by in the WWE, but he was missing that mouthpiece. He was missing that corner piece to get him over with the fans. They gave Swagger a manager in Zeb Coulter, and they make a great pair. All right, they have me invested in their program. They have me invested in their characters simply by Zeb Coulter being there. That's a great fucking a good thing for both of these guys. You know, it's believable. If a guy like that on TV can get over a wrestler who's, you know, pretty much not cared about by anybody, Zeb Coulter's doing a fantastic fucking job with Jack Swagger. You got to admit that. Now, Swagger actually wanted his release from the WWE in late 2012 because he really wasn't being used. He was being underutilized. He was sitting in the back collecting a paycheck. They weren't using him on TV. He went to Vince McMahon. He wanted to be released. Vince talked him to staying, or into staying with the WWE, promised him that he would be on TV because Vince doesn't want any of his competition going to Ring of Honor. He doesn't want his competition going to TNA. So he stayed on board. At that point, I expected a slow build for the fans to be reintroduced to Jack Swagger. I didn't really expect him to win the Elimination Chamber. I didn't expect him to be ¡1 contender for the World Heavyweight Championship going into WrestleMania. Is his push too fast? To some, yes. To me, no. He has all the skills in the world. All right, Jack Swagger has that world champion quality more so than Del Rio does. Del Rio is what they call a transitional champion, someone who is keeping the title warm until someone else comes along worthy enough to take that belt that the WWE creative seems to want to put that belt on. Now, Del Rio has seen a character change from a cocky heel to a refreshing babyface or a gracious babyface. It works better for him, but he's not world championship material. They've built Jack Swagger up so fast, but keep in mind, he does have a DUI charge, and he was caught with drugs the night after the Elimination Chamber. So that was made public all over the tabloids. TMZ reported that. How can they make the, you know, if the WWE does decide to put the title on Swagger, how is that going to make the WWE look, you know, having him their world champion on the biggest show of the year, immediately coming off those charges? So my prediction for this match is Ricardo Rodriguez, who is out with an injury right now, or a storyline injury, comes back from his injury and saves the day for Del Rio, who is on the verge of losing the title. He's going to help Del Rio retain the World Heavyweight Championship. I'm going with no Ziggler here. I don't see Ziggler cashing in because even though I think it would be epic, I don't see the WWE doing that at WrestleMania. I think they're going to hold on to this briefcase until the very last week before he can't cash it in anymore, before it expires. But I do see Del Rio retaining the World Heavyweight Championship at WrestleMania. And I know for a fact that Del Rio and Jack Swagger are going to be feuding going into Extreme Rules. So that's when we may see Jack Swagger capture that World Heavyweight Championship. And hopefully further down the line, it's just going to put Ziggler in line for a World Championship reign, because we all know he deserves it. He's one of the best wrestlers on the roster. He's one of those guys we can all invest our time in. People want to see him. He's got the character. He needs that spotlight on him. You know, he's got his mic skills are getting a lot better than they were. He's fantastic in the ring. He's got that Mr. Perfect, cocky attitude. I love it. And he just deserves to be world champion. But I do see Del Rio retaining here with the help of Ricardo Rodriguez. Now, that's going to be the end of Part 1, guys. I will say Brock Lesnar versus Triple H, The Undertaker versus Punk, and John Cena versus The Rock for Part 2. I will upload that tomorrow, so make sure you tune in to catch that. If you enjoyed my opinions here, if you enjoyed the commentary, please hit that like button, support this channel. I do want to get my wrestling content out there to the WWE audience, to the WWE fans, besides what I do with the Call of Duty and all the rest of the video games I play on my channel. But if you did enjoy this commentary, hit that like button, support. Let's try and get this to about 75 likes. All right, I've been setting goals for myself. I want you guys to help me out. I know you guys can do it. If you enjoyed it, let's get it to 75 likes. I'm out. I will see you all tomorrow for Part 2. I hope you enjoyed, and I will catch you all tomorrow, guys. Take care.